Have you ever seen a Forsythia bush in full bloom? Its long arching branches covered with bright yellow flowers without any leaves. They look so beautiful. They just brighten up the whole space. The good news is that it is really easy to duplicate these bushes. Hi, this is Ruchi and let me show you how to grow more Forsythia plants by taking the cuttings from an existing bush. So the best time to take Forsythia cuttings is in summer because they bloom in spring, and after they finish blooming they'll start to grow, the new leaves will grow, new branches will grow. So you want to take the branches of this year. I took the cutting from a Forsythia bush, and you want to take a cutting which are kind of hard to bend, like this one. You see, it's not easy to bend, and it is fresh growth. Like you see, it is greenish. So this is the growth of this year. I'm going to make smaller cuttings, like 5 to 6 inches cutting from this first. Let's do that. The bottom you want to cut below a node. Node is a place from where the leaves grow. So here I'll cut below this, and then 1, 2, 3 nodes. So this is one cutting, and you want to make sure you know which one is up and which one is down. So again, this one, 1, 2, 3, and then I want to remove this thin one. So this is good cutting. Just remove the leaves. This is too thin, but I'm just going to plant them in any case. Okay, so now we have the cuttings ready. Here I have a planter. It has good drainage at the bottom. I have put wood chips at the bottom, and then I have put coarse sand in it. So the advantage of coarse sand is that it stays wet for a long time, but it drains very quickly. So your cuttings are not sitting in wet medium. Here I have some rooting hormone. I'm going to just dip each stick in the rooting hormone and make a hole, and make sure that at least 2 of the nodes go inside. And I am putting a lot of cuttings in here because not every cutting will grow roots. By the way, I did the same process where I made smaller cuttings and I put them in water. I don't have that video, but I'll show you when they started to develop roots. It's been about 6 weeks that we planted these cuttings in water. Whenever the water is getting slightly dirty, I'll just change it. And it's been about 6 weeks. And I noticed that a couple of stems have developed roots. So there are some stems which have no roots, but like this one, if you look at this small one, you see something developing here. The other 2 don't have anything. So most of the stems don't have anything, so I'm just going to put them in water. So this one has big root. This one has big root, and it is going around because it was in this glass, so it was just going around the glass. This one has like huge roots, and look at the leaves on the top. And then some of these have, you can see some white thing developing, so probably they'll develop roots. So now I want to plant them because the roots are big enough. So here I have general purpose potting soil mix. It has some gravel, some coco peat, and some soil. So I'm just going to make sure that all the roots are covered. This one just had one root. I thought there were only 2 stems with roots, but there are 3. Anyway, so I'll bring one more planter. And similarly here, I'm just going to make sure that all the roots are buried in the soil. So now let me show you the progress on the stems that we had put in sand-filled containers. I just dumped that whole container here, and I noticed that there were 3 or 4 stems which had small roots. Now it took them much longer to develop these roots. So I would say that if you want to propagate Forsythia from cuttings, you better put them in water because that is faster. And I saw, big roots growing there. But I mean, this method works too if you prefer this for some reason. It's been about 9 months that I planted those 3 cuttings from water into soil, and you can see that they are doing well. One of them is exceptionally well, but all of them are growing and they are in full sun and they get watered every day. We planted our Forsythia plants here and here, and they have been doing fine. So after planting this plant in the ground, it has really taken off. Now you can see that the plant is growing really tall. This is about 3 feet tall and the middle stem is probably 4 feet tall. So I've given the middle stem some support because they were kind of flopping on the side. And this is beginning of fall, so we still have about a month where they can grow, and then after that they'll probably go dormant. And here is how they look after 2 years. This is the first plant and this is the second one. They have started blooming. In the first summer, I took the cuttings and grew roots from them and then transplanted them into small containers. And then in next summer, I planted them in ground. That was last year. And this spring, they have started blooming. So now after they finish blooming, I'll prune them so that they stay in good shape. Right now I have given it support, but I'll cut it short so that they stay strong like this one, and then I don't need to give them support. But in a few years it will grow big and wide, and I'm hoping it will produce a lot of these beautiful flowers. I mean, in this one, if you look at this, those 2 branches have no leaves pretty much, just the flowers. You have to just make sure that you plant them in a sunny spot and the location is well draining. They don't require too much of fertilizer or anything else, just a little bit of water and a lot of sun. That's all they need. So I hope this video was useful to you. If you have any questions, leave me a comment and I'll try to answer as soon as possible. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to share it with your friends and family. And I'll see you next time. Happy gardening. Bye.